How's everyone doing? Today I have a gigantic Blu-ray update with 20 pickups right here. And if you've seen any of these movies or TV show, definitely let me know what you think of them. And first up, let me make sure I don't drop these. There's one DVD set down at the bottom. First up from the Criterion collection is The Lodger, which is a 1927 silent film from Alfred Hitchcock. And it's The Lodger, a story of the London fog. And this is his third feature-length film. And one really cool thing about this release from Criterion Collection is, besides all the ton of bonus features that are already on here, it also includes a bonus film, Downhill, which is another 1927 silent film directed by Alfred Hitchcock. So again, new 2K digital restorations for both films. So that is really awesome. I'm looking forward to checking out both of those. I haven't seen before, but I like the murder mystery theme that seems to be going on here. And comes in and there's a killer on the loose called the Avenger. Interesting. I wouldn't expect that to be a name for the killer, but let me know what your favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie is. Next up from Arrow Video is Doberman Cop, and this stars Sonny Shiba. And he's kind of a backwoods cop, kind of a fish out of water. He's coming from Okinawa, and he's going to Tokyo's Kabukicho nightlife district. And this is funny, on the back description here, he comes in with a straw hat and live pig in tow. He's dismissed as a country bumpkin, but he soon proves himself to be a savvy detective. And it's based on the popular manga Bronson, who is the creator of Fist of the North Star. So this actually sounds pretty awesome. I like Sonny Chiba, so looking forward to checking this out. And Arrow Video always does amazing jobs with their releases. You can see the disc artwork, unique for each one, the Blu-ray and DVD. You got the booklet in here. There's Sonny Chiba looking awesome right there. Behind the scenes photos and information, and then you've got the reversible artwork. I dig that artwork as well, the original artwork, but that one is pretty cool too, the newly commissioned artwork. And again, you've got tons of special features. I'm always looking forward to the interviews. I saw Wolf Guy had a really good special feature interview with Sonny Chiba, so I'm looking forward to the new interview again with him on this one. So there you go, and then I'll go ahead and show you The Lodger as well, which Criterion Collection is another one of my favorite companies releasing. And oh, this is pretty cool. Looks like it folds out to a poster. Yeah, oh no, I guess, no, it's not really a poster. Never mind, I take it back. I thought it was a poster because of the way that it was, but I guess it's just a giant description, essentially, essays on there, and then kind of credits. Interesting how they do that. Because initially I saw the way that this was presented, and I thought, oh, poster. But interior artwork as well. Kind of matching the color scheme, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, I just have to say, Arrow Video and Criterion Collection are two of my favorite companies releasing Blu-rays today. Next up from Sony is T2 Trainspotting. I don't like the title, T2. Immediately you think of the only T2 out there, that's Terminator 2. So that's kind of weird. Why not just call it Trainspotting 2? But I did like this movie. I loved the first Trainspotting movie. I saw it and watched it a bunch in college, and I read the Irvin Welsh novel, and I read Glue, and I read a few of his other books as well back then. But I loved that first one. The scene with the baby always stuck with me. So many incredible scenes in there. A very impactful movie, an all-time classic. This one to me was a good follow-up. It was remarkable how well the actors aged. They still look very similar to themselves from the first one, but it doesn't have that same impact. And it would be hard to have the same impact as the original. But it does have a good message, and it is a good follow-up overall. I'll be talking about this one a little bit more in depth coming up, and once I do view all the other ones that I haven't seen, I'll do proper reviews for them. But this is the 4K release from Sony. Next up is The Unholy, which this is part of the Lionsgate Vestron Video Collector Series. I'm loving what they're doing. I can't wait to see what they release next. I know they're doing the Warlock series, which I'm really super for. I love the Warlock movies. This one, for me, the ending is awesome. That ending was so awesome to me. And the thing in here, that one of the special features, they talk about how they're going to go with a different ending, and they actually show you the ending that they had. And I love that they made that change, because that change just sticks out. It's basically about this priest who's kind of like the chosen one, and he's going to fight this evil demonic force. And because he can basically say no to temptation. That's the biggest test. And I love the ending, what happens, and you see it comes full circle with that priest. Very creepy, very atmospheric, and I love the setting of New Orleans. They definitely play that up a bit. And it's interesting to see the father from Boy Meets World in here. He's kind of like this theatric performer, kind of villainous character a little bit. But definitely dig the heck out of this one. Really good release from Lionsgate and Vestron Video Series. Some really good special features in here. Audio commentary with the director. And again, I like the featurettes in here too, with some of the original people involved with it. And yeah, I definitely say this, if you're a fan of the film, a great release. Next up is Joe Versus the Volcano from Warner Archives. And I haven't seen this since I was a kid. This was the first pairing of Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. Of course, they did Sleepless in Seattle, and they did You Got Mail. They work really well together. But this one I remember being a romantic comedy and being kind of crazy. And a few other people in here, Lloyd Bridges, but Abe Vigoda too. But looking forward to rewatching this one. I can't remember too much about it. He has to like jump into a volcano or something crazy. But looking forward to the rewatch. That's some nostalgia for me. Next up, another one that's very nostalgic too is Vision Quest. I love that Warner Archives, the Warner Archive collection. They're putting out all these old classic ones. Vision Quest is so underrated in my opinion. Love the heck out of this one. I'd say it was decently well known back in the day, but I don't hear people talk about it enough these days. It's basically about Matthew Modine, who plays this wrestler, and he's going to drop 2 weight classes to wrestle against the big tough guy, the big state champion in that weight class. Linda Fiorentino is in here too. I remember she was in The Last Seduction. That was such a good movie. That needs a Blu-ray release big time. But you have so many other people in here. Madonna's in here as well. She has a couple scenes where she's a singer in this club. But a bunch of other recognizable people too. The guy from 16 Candles, Jake Ryan I think his name was, he's in here. He's got like a mohawk in here. But yeah, really good soundtrack as well. I would definitely recommend this one. Next up is Running on Empty with River Phoenix, and then you've got Christine Lahiti, Judd Hirsch. Basically, Christine Lahiti and Judd Hirsch are anti-war activists, and they're on the run, and they have to like move state to state. And River Phoenix doesn't want to keep running, and some drama on there too. I'll be talking about these ones more in depth. This is just kind of like a mail day video. Savage Innocence, this is from Olive Films. Love this one. If you like Nanook of the North, I would definitely recommend checking this one out. Anthony Quinn's in here, Peter O'Toole, and it's basically about Inuit Eskimos and their basically way of life and how it comes to be, how they have their first interactions with the white man, and how they kind of change everything and kind of messes everything up, and their simplicity of life and how it works for them and how it's changed and subverted in a way. I love the artwork for that too, and I love movies with a snowy setting. This has it in spades. I would really like to, I wish this had more special features. I would have loved to, this doesn't really have any special features actually, but I would have loved to have seen about the filming of this. Psycho Cop Returns from Vinegar Syndrome. I haven't seen the first Psycho Cop, but I'm looking forward to checking this one out. Hopefully, maybe you don't need to watch that in the succession. But yeah, it looks like just crazy, violent cop action. Next up is Nurse Sherry from Vinegar Syndrome. This one sounds really interesting. I guess Sherry is possessed by a crazed preacher, and he's kind of like a demonic possession kind of movie. So looking forward to checking that one out. It looks pretty crazy and wild right there. Some bloody scenes. On the front, it looks like it's going to be like sexploitation, but on the back, it sounds like more kind of possession themed. Malibu High, which I love that cover. This is one I've wanted to see for a while. I always remember seeing that cover. I'm like, that chick's hot. I want to see this movie. But basically, this chick in high school, she blackmails her teachers. Then she becomes like a hit woman for hire. So sounds interesting. Double Exposure from Vinegar Syndrome. I love this movie. I remember seeing this a while back. Basically about 2 brothers. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be twins or not, but the one brother is a camera, or a photographer rather, and the other one is kind of like a stunt driver, and he loses his one arm and his one leg, and there's all these people being killed, and the brother has, the lead guy, he has like all these visions, and he thinks he's doing the murdering, and you can see the twist coming a mile away, but great cast interaction and some good tension throughout. Good kind of like psychological horror elements. the Hearse, again from Vinegar Syndrome. Yeah, this one, I wanted more from it. They could have utilized certain aspects a little bit more. It's kind of like a ghost, demonic kind of movie. This girl, this woman, she goes to this small town where this house is supposedly haunted, and there's kind of twists and turns, and there's this hearse that keeps trying to drive her off the road. The one actor who plays the lead guy, the love interest in here, he's in the special features, and he keeps talking about the Omen 3. If you play a drinking game where you take a shot every time he mentions the Omen 3, you'll be dead. Like, every time, because he was supposed to have that role, and I guess Sam Neill has got the role instead, but he mentions that like all the time. Next up from Twilight Time, the next 4 from Twilight Time, the Vagabond Papers, which I love this movie as a kid. I remember reading the book as well, based on a true story of a mob informant with Charles Bronson right there. And there's one scene that always sticks out in my mind. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Can't wait to revisit this one. Next up is Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau and the Fortune Cookie. I love when they play off each other, odd couple, grumpy old men, just phenomenal. But yeah, the one guy's like kind of an insurance scammer. His name is Infamous Whiplash Willie, Walter Matthau, and then TV cameraman Jack Lemmon, who's injured while shooting a sporting event. So yeah, it's going to be some comedic hijinks right there. They work so well together. Year of the Comet, which this one is actually hilarious to me. The way that it's represented on the front cover, it looks kind of like a romantic comedy or dramedy. And then on the back, it's like action and explosions. So it's actually what they describe as a romantic comedy thriller about the pursuit of the most valuable bottle of wine in history. Tim Daly, Penelope Ann Miller, Louis Jordan, in his last film role. So that sounds pretty interesting. They're racing from Scotland to France. And next up, Inferno 3D. Can't wait to check this one out. Basically, Robert Ryan stars in this one as a crusty millionaire. That's what it's described on the back. He's left to die in the desert by his wife and the wife's lover, and he has to fight to survive. Next up from Well Go USA is, and all these Twilight Time ones are released to, or limited to 3,000 copies. Well Go USA's Buster's Mal Hart with Rami Malick, who is awesome in Mr. Robot. And this one looks really weird and quirky and just super surreal from the trailers. Can't wait to check it out. Next up from Mill Creek is Space Hunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. Super cheese. One of the earlier roles for Molly Ringwald. Also has Peter Strauss and Ernie Hudson, and Michael Ironside is the villainous Overdog character right there. But I do like Ernie Hudson in this one, especially how he plays off of Peter Strauss. But it's basically he's trying to find these 3 Earth women. He goes to this planet, and there's all these different people and creatures trying to kill him. And Molly Ringwald kind of forces herself onto him to, like, you know, be the sidekick essentially. But one of the earlier roles from Molly Ringwald, I think this was 1983 from Mill Creek. Kind of cheesy, kind of influenced a little bit. You can see from Star Wars certain things, kind of remind you of that, but super cheese. Next up from Paramount is Workaholics, the complete series. I wish this had a Blu-ray release. Very simplistic release right there. There's the slip cover for it, clear plastic case, and the one thing I don't like about this is there's nothing holding this into place. You can take this right out. There's no middle piece holding that in, so that's super weird. But there's all the discs right there, all the seasons. So I'll do a proper overview of this one too, but pretty straightforward. All 86 episodes. I love the heck out of this film. I mean, this TV show. Super funny to me. Blake, Adam, Anders. Let me know who your favorite character from Workaholics is. And there you go. There's my 20 pickups. If you've seen any of these movies or TV show, definitely let me know what you think. And let me know what is your favorite pickup from this lot. Leave me a comment or video response down below. Hope everyone's doing well. Take care.